Economic reasons, if you want the welfare state forever, no reason to back off until the collapse comes.
Mr. Ron Paul, when he was running for president, there was a lot of confusion about the Federal Reserve. He said stuff that sounded crazy, like $1.6 trillion of the debt was fictitious, and I saw him on Fox News talking about that, and Lori Rothman, an analyst, said, oh, that's not fictitious, that belongs to the financial markets, and that seemed to prove his point. So could you address that issue a little bit and see if you could...
Well, that's a good point. We have a tremendous problem.
Can you do what JFK and President Abraham Lincoln did, and that's take the power to create money back to the government, and that would eliminate taxation and government debt?
You have to bring everything back.
As Mayor Rothschild said, give me control of a nation's money supply, and I care not who makes its laws. He knew that he and the other bankers would now control the laws of the nation. Government gave these bankers one of its most important powers, and now had to borrow money from them and pay interest to finance the government. So the American people were forced to lower their standard of living and pay a graduated income tax to the government, just so the government could give these bankers more profits.
They're loaning our own money to us, and the Federal Reserve System is a non-profit organization, and every $1 trillion they create, they're supposed to transfer to the Treasury as profit, not loan it to us. They're loaning our own money to us. They're violating their non-profit status.
If you were president, what would you do in like one sentence?
I would get rid of the IRS, get rid of the Fed, and give America freedom again.
May 16, 2024, Representative Massey introduces Federal Reserve Board Abolition Act to end the Fed.
But I'm like, it is time, it is way past time to reintroduce a bill to end the Federal Reserve. And so I put it in the hopper, and I thought, man, I may be the only one. Maybe I'll get 2 or 3 co-sponsors, but I don't care. This needs to be done. I got 24 co-sponsors.
Congressmen and senators, time to honor your oath.
So help you God.
I do. You hold power, we the people demand. And the threat and the crimes, time to take a stand. Stand up for truth.
We need people in Washington reminding our representatives that they have a contract. It is called the oath of office. It is called the obligation, the implied oath to the Constitution of the United States. It is called thou shalt not steal.
The Constitution says no money shall be drawn from the Treasury but in consequence of appropriations made by law.
No more corruption.
Tucker Carlson said it before he was fired. It's real simple. When $1 trillion is created out of thin air, that's supposed to be profit.
Representative Thomas Massey announces the introduction of H.R. 8421, the Federal Reserve Board Abolition Act. Massey's legislation abolishes the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve Banks. It also repeals the Federal Reserve Act, the 1913 Federal Reserve Act that created the Federal Reserve System.
No more corruption, no more lies.
America needs to wake up to the fact that when $1 trillion is created out of thin air, it's supposed to be profit for the Treasury, not